tutorial on time series modeling. In this part 1 of the series, I will help you how to set up on GCP and use SQL on BigQuery. This is a little bit about myself. My name is Hamza. I have quite a few years of experience in data science. I have a master's from University of Minnesota. I did an MBA from LUMS, and I graduated from bachelor's in computer science from FAST. Talking about the problem set that we want to handle over here is of a data set which has a lot of items and a lot of stores. Usually when you deal with or you look at a tutorial online, it always has one item and they tell you you can run an LSTM model or an XGBoost model or any of that on always one item. In reality, in the world that we live in and the work I do on a daily basis, we have to do forecasting for a huge number of items. For example, for each store that I work on, we have about 200,000 items. Now, you have 200,000 items, you have 5,000 stores, that's almost about a billion data points. So, usually, how do data scientists think about modeling from one item all the way to creating models for different about a billion combinations? This tutorial is going to help you go through that. And for that purpose, the dataset that we picked up is Iowa Liquor Retail Sales. This dataset has sales from 1st of January 2012. You can read more about here. There's a link over here that will tell you more about the dataset. And when we click here, it takes you to that page. This will take a little time to upload, to open. Just a minute. And so basically this data sense contains this is the detail. There's a data dictionary. It tells you how the data is set up, so you can go through that and understand that in detail. Coming to the how we're going to approach the problem, there are 4 major steps that I've identified. This is part 1 that we're working on. I'm going to help you set up on Google Cloud over here, and we'll run some SQL queries on BigQuery to understand some basic data structures, how it is set up. This will be followed by some exploratory data analysis, where we use the art of trends and charts and look at how the data is flowing, what story can we learn from the data. The third part is where we create a forecasting model for one item or multiple items, and that's where will use different modeling techniques. I will be focusing on 2 major LSTM, GRU, and XGBoost. Now, to get us started, what I want to help you guys is let's go to GCP and set up our first project and go from there. So I have my GCP page open over here. It's console.cloud.google.com. And what you want to do is, I'm going to take you guys through the first steps. It might take time, but I want, some of you had a few questions about it, so I want to help and make sure that all questions are answered. So we're going to go to new project, and I'm going to call it time series modeling. And then I want to edit my project ID. So usually the best way is that I just call it 1. You don't have any organization created. You don't have to worry about that. And you can just go ahead and do create. And what it does is, voila, it just started your own project. This is the first step. The second step for you is to search for BigQuery. And you just put it in the search, BigQuery shows up. Right? And from here, what you want to do is, for those of you who don't see BigQuery public data over here, just add data and go to explore public data sets, and it will open a whole list of chain for you, and you just type Iowa Liquor Retail Sales, and that shows up. So it's very intuitive. It's very easy to add that, and once it's added to your platform, it will always be there. So those are some of the things which you can get started on. So you have basically all the public data sets added to you over here. I'll actually go back to my previous one. This is the project. For those of you who have any problem, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help you get started. You can select a project over here. Your project is time series modeling. You want to stick to that project. Okay. And we have our BigQuery editor over here. This is our project now. Let's say I want to run a query. So I'm just going to select this. And what I want to do is I can run, so when you look over here, you have all the information about what the data looks like, what different uh, fields are there, and most of them, if you see, are string. So some of you had problems in running the query, so I'll help you set up the first query. So we'll just start with this. Select star from BigQuery public data limit. I'll just set it to 10. Okay, and when you run this data, you get a certain you when you run this query, you get an output. You can download this output. So if you go to save results, you can do CSV local file, so on and so forth. What I usually do is that I usually call this data directly from Jupyter Notebook, and in the next series I'll take you through that, how you should be able to do that. Now in the list which I showed you, so we followed this step. We created a new project, we went to BigQuery, we are running our query. Now let's take a look at this query. Select star from the data set where store number is 2. Now you would see that I put it on quotes. The reason I did that is that the value over here is a string value. Queries that we'll run, and I put it in on the Google slide also. When you look at this, you have select star from BigQuery. This is the table name where store number is equal to this. And I would suggest you to just set a limit to a certain number, because you don't want to see the whole data come out. So this is the basic data of just 10 rows. Now let's say if I want to find out when was the last time a transaction was made in this store. I'll basically do select max, and I'll run this query again, and it'll say that 29th of June was the last time a transaction was made in the store. Now, does this resonate with the whole data set? I'll just make it look like that. Select max from date and 30th June. So this data is updated as of 30th of June. Now, as you keep working on it, they refresh it, I think, on a monthly basis. So by August, it will be updated to July. And there are a lot of interesting things that you can do. You can see, you can find out how many stores are actually there. Select distinct store number from, and what you can say is that you want to find out stores which have made at least one sale since 1st of January. So you basically say 2020 0101, select distant store numbers, and what it will do is that it should give you all the stores. So it has 1,764 stores active, or stores which have made at least one sale before after 1st of January 2020. Now let's say you want to know the number of items, and sometimes we tend to forget, what's in what data set we are dealing with. So you just need to click on sales again. It will just tell you what are the field names. So if I want to find out what is the total number of item, what are total distinct item numbers which have been active since January 1st, 2020, I'll just say select distinct, let's say item number. And what I'll do is I'll do account. And there are many ways of running a certain query. This is just one of the ways that I'm showing to help you with it. So 3,000 items have been there are 3,000 active items since 1st of January. And if you do count of distinct store number, so basically what you will get is 1764 number of stores and 3407. Now what combination is this? Now let's look at the combination. when we try to make it is 1764 into 3407. So if we were to create a model for each item store combination, we would have about 6 million different combinations. And that's a very, very interesting problem set to solve for that many combinations. And this is what I'm going to try to help you is to get started with that. Now I've set up a class over here. For those of you who have not joined, you can just go to time series modeling, and this is the class code. If you just select on this, you can join this class. And what I've done is that I have added a few slides. So this is the same slides over here. And then what I've also done is, where did it go? I set up a SQL quiz for everyone to go through, and this is basically to get you started on SQL, some of the intricacies within it, and how do you write certain queries. This will be a good refresher, and there are a lot of SQL tutorials online. So I'm not going to take you how to do SQL, but my suggestion is that grab a basic knowledge, because that is very important in ML, that you should be able to run your own data. With this ends the first tutorial. I hope this was useful for you, and what I'll do is that in the next tutorial I'll take you through the exploratory data analysis of how to look at the data, and then the third portion will be where we start modeling. I've not started with modeling in the first place because I want to take you through the journey of we do in a real world. We first look at the data in through SQL, then we create an exploratory data analysis to understand what is the data talking about, and finally we start making our models. And then the last part is to scale them. So we'll take you through all of that. Until then, thank you so much.